Good morning. It's 9 o'clock on this Tuesday, March 17th.
And this is 7 News Now, the quickest way to get the news that you need. And we're going to check in with Max Lagano to give us our first alert forecast on the St. Patrick's Day. Max?
Yeah, it's definitely a cold St. Patrick's Day, but fortunately we're starting to warm up at least a little bit. We'll take a look out over into South Lake Charles. Plenty of sunshine, only a few clouds, same story in DeRidder. And slowly but surely, temperatures are starting to warm on up. Here are those numbers: up to 37 in Oakdale, 41 in Sulphur, and up to 39 in Lake Charles. So we'll continue that warming trend today. Even still, wind chills are a bit lower than that, into the low to mid 30s, 32 in Jennings. But fortunately, we're not going to have as much wind as yesterday. So for this afternoon, temperatures warm on up into the upper 50s to near 60 degrees. Overall, a pleasant afternoon later on today. But the real warm up does not take place until the weekend. Even tomorrow morning, I think we'll have a low temperature waking up of 42. That's still cold, but not as cold as today. But then that warm-up takes place into the weekend. Temperatures rebound to above normal temperatures, so we'll be waking up into the upper 50s to low 60s during the morning. We'll turn even warmer during the afternoon. We'll have a look at just how warmer we'll get coming up at 10 o'clock on First Alert Weather Extra right here on our streaming platforms.
All right, Max, thanks a lot. Well, authorities are investigating a deadly shooting in southwest Louisiana this morning.
In Jennings, police say a woman and her adult son were killed after a domestic incident turned deadly. Jennings Police Chief Danny Sims says around 3 Sunday afternoon, family members requested a welfare check at a home on Alice Street after not seeing the pair for a week. Police went inside and found both people had been shot and had guns near their bodies. Chief Sims says the incident is under investigation as a double homicide. He also says there's no threat to the public. The victims' identities have not yet been released. And we're following a family tragedy in the Lafayette area. Investigators say a man shot and killed his wife and 6-year-old son before turning the gun on himself. The Lafayette Parish Sheriff's Office says it happened at a home just outside of Youngsville on Sunday. Deputies identified the shooter as 36-year-old Brett Richardson. The victims were his wife, Cassie, and their young son. No one else was at home at the time.
A longtime corrections officer at the Vermilion Parish Jail is out of a job this morning. He's accused of sexual misconduct by an inmate, where, according to authorities, Royce Trahan of Abbeville was indicted by a grand jury for the alleged misconduct, and he was then fired, arrested, and booked into the Vermilion Parish Jail. He's since been released on bond, and Trahan is a longtime member of the sheriff's office, beginning as a reserve deputy in 2006 and working at the jail since 2014.
A really good relationship with the education department at the national level, and in fact, we've seen increased funding in several different areas.
State education leaders showcased their proposed budget yesterday for the next fiscal year during a Senate committee hearing. A large part of that plan is expanding the LA Gator program. And this program provides state-funded scholarship accounts that allow eligible families to send their kids to the schools that they want by paying for expenses. That also goes for private school expenses.
According to State Superintendent Dr. Kay Brumley, the new budget calls for an additional $87 million from the state, along with $660,000 more to cover vendor account fees. However, one senator raised concerns over the difference in per-student funding between LA Gator and public schools.
With all due respect to our fancy members, was that looked at like, was that given consideration that we're giving less per pupil to our local school systems than we're giving under the Gator program?
According to Senator Katrina Jackson Andrews, the state pays about $5,500 per public school student, while LA Gator pays over $7,000 per student. Superintendent Brumley says the budget is not built on a strict per-student formula. The proposed budget increase is still up for debate at the Capitol.
Meanwhile, lawmakers are considering a proposal to raise Louisiana's minimum wage. Louisiana is one of the few states that has not set its own minimum wage above the federal level. Senate Bill 230 would raise the state minimum wage from $7.25 an hour to $10.25 per hour. And if it passes, voters would have to give final approval in November, and it would go into effect next year.
The Louisiana OMV says scam text messages are making their rounds again on people's phones. Officials say scammers claim you have an unpaid traffic ticket and threaten to suspend your car's registration. The OMV says don't click on the messages and do not respond. They're urging you to spread the word about the scam to family and friends.
And Louisiana's Office of Motor Vehicles has a new website name. You'll need to head to expresslane.la.gov instead of .org. The OMV says that the .gov address will provide better security and help block phishing and fake pages. .gov is reserved for verified government agencies. And small business owners in Southwest Louisiana will have an opportunity to attend a no-cost training course from the U.S. Small Business Administration.
The Louisiana Small Business Development Center at McNeese will be hosting 3 sessions in our area designed to introduce local entrepreneurs to the federal contracting process. The first session will take place next Wednesday, March 25th at the Jeff Davis Chamber of Commerce, with other sessions in Calcasieu and Beauregard parishes over the next few months. Registration is available on our website, kplctv.com. If you're watching this live stream on your app or online, don't forget you can download 7 News straight to your Roku or smart TV.
Thanks for joining us, and now we'll send you back to Local News Live.